What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talk About Transformers. Just a couple of things before we get started. My tiny humans are home today. It is the weekend because my job schedule just changed again, so now I have to work 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, so these are my filming days. That's why we didn't get a review on Friday, so I decided just to skip it and get back to the regular schedule starting Monday with this review of Cup. And then we'll go ahead and see Springer on Friday. And that's pretty much all I got for that. So we'll go ahead and dive right into Cup here. Here he is in his weird little Cybertronian pickup mode. You've got lots of different shades of blue. You've got metallic blue or silver under a clear or blue plastic. It's hard to tell if the plastic. I think the plastic is blue and the paint under is silver, especially because when you get it on the edge, there's still blue there, but it's kind of hard to tell right away which one of them has the blue in it. You have this light, almost like a seafoam green color of blue, and then you've got teal and a slightly darker teal over the rest of most of it with some painted on seafoam, and it's far enough away from the real stuff that it's hard to tell the difference. But here, I think it's coming across on camera, there is a slight difference in color between the paint and the plastic. You can kind of really see it back here, but it's not gonna bother my eyes. You've got the Autobot symbol on the side there. It looks a little wonky because it's over this panel line, but it's actually cleanly painted across it. It's just kind of like an optical illusion created by that line that makes it look a little wonky. You've got one up on the front, on top of some more of that seafoam paint. And then this side is pretty much the same thing as far as the paint and details go. You got, the riveting and some of this up here and that. And then there you have him on the bottom. He's got 4 wheels. 2 of them are inside the leg region, and 2 of them are open, so you can see them pinned on from the front. Here he is from the back. His fists are just hanging out there. You can see the fingers, but they almost kinda, if you do some mental gymnastics, look like some kind of back detail, I guess. And then you've got these which aren't painted, and when you transform them, they end up underneath the surface. So I feel like if they wanted to, they could put some paint on here for like some rear light details. But they did not, and that's fine. And then you've got the truck bed, and you've got, going up the roof, stuff we've seen, all that detail and that silver paint. And then on the bottom, you've got legs and arms, and he's completely folded in half like some kind of horror movie. And we'll see how all that works in a bit. He's got these 2 ports on the side where you can store his weapons. He comes with this blaster that is just molded in that seafoamy plastic, that green-gray looking plastic. It's got pretty good molded detail. It's got a peg on one side, and you can go ahead and just peg it into the truck. Whichever way you want to do it. You could have it upside down, you could have it right side up, you could have it on this side, you could have it on this side. It's whatever you want to do. I'm just going to put it this way. And then his other accessory is this little clear piece of plastic that is painted green, and it's some kind of Energon treat as far as I've been led to believe from other reviews. And here you can see that the plastic might indeed have a little bit of a bluish tint to it, and it's probably from the same sprue as the window, so that might solve that problem. But there you have that. Again, he's got a tab on it, so you can put it in whichever way you want it to be on there. You can have the treats facing up, or they can roll over, and you can plug her in, and the treats can all start spilling out. It's whichever way you want it to be. And that's him in vehicle mode. He does do the rolling, as the rolling things should, and he will do the size comparisons as the size comparison things should. So we'll go ahead and get into size comparisons. Alright, there he is with Rubik's Cube, Gore Magala, Swag and Bumblebee. There he is with Quake, Here he is with the Studio Series Blur. And lastly but not leastly, here he is with Pratt Jr. Alrighty, with all that out of the way, we'll go ahead and get into transformation. And the first thing I'm going to do is pop these accessories off, just so that way they're out of my way and they don't fall off later. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start by trying to get the truck bed unpegged from his hands. So you're going to want to unpeg the hands. I usually end up pulling the arms down a bit because they come off for a gimmick in robot mode, so I make sure that they're not going to fall off. Then we're going to unclip the truck bed pieces from each other, fold them over, and this little tab is going to go into that little notch there and solidify into place. Getting these tire pieces out is kind of weird because you got to kind of flex this piece past the green, and at the same time it's going to unplug from the front, and I can never remember if I fold it down. Okay, so I don't have to flex it past it, I just have to pull it down and get this nubbin past that nubbin, which is not too bad. So we've pulled it down, untabbed this tab from that slot, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'll show you from the back. I'm kind of pulling the leg out a little bit and pulling it down to disengage this tab, I suppose, from that empty space, and this tab from the slot again. We'll pull it down, and that's going to free up his legs. That came unplugged. I don't want to do that yet. This is where we kind of slide the plastic past the plastic a little bit. It's on that black rail there, and we're going to pull it up on it, and this tab here is going to clip into this slot on the side of the leg to quasi lock that into place. It's not super dead secure, but it's not really moving that much either, so it's a lot more secure than it looks. Same thing on the other side. Rotate it back, snap it into place, and then to finish his legs off, we're going to pull his knee out, and you can see that it's at an angle here, and we can straighten it out, and you've got a tab. And in truck mode it's in the angled tab, and in in truck mode it's in the angled tab, and in robot mode it's going into that tab with the L1 behind it. So we'll just snap that into place and fold the foot out. And like I said, these details are going to be covered up, so they could have definitely painted some lights on there, really, I think. So we'll go ahead and move that out of the way. I'm not showing it in depth again. There you have his legs pretty much all done. We'll go ahead and start pulling his waist down a little bit. We are going to pull this panel here, this oval panel, out to the side. Same thing with the other arm. And we're going to disengage this panel if it hasn't done it for us already. Two little tabs into two little notches there. We're going to fold this away, revealing his head, and that will let us get the whole waist down, and it's going to snap into place. I want to say this black notch here, black tab here, is going to go into that hole there, is what actually secures it. But you can tell you've got it in all the way because you'll have this groove here, and unless it's actually meeting up with the front of the vehicle, you don't have it forward all the way. So there you have that, and he's flopping around all over the place. To form his backpack, you're going to collapse this in, and there's a tab and there is a slot. So collapse that in, fold this down, and it'll rest here. And then we're going to take his tires, his arm is in the way, and we're going to fold them up under this black head panel, and then holding them in place, you've got a tab on the end of each and a little notch in the tires, and we're going to just push them in there to secure the head panel into place. And then the backpack has these two notches that are going to go on tabs on these wheel wells, wheel wells. The area above the tire of the vehicle mode. And then you want to make sure that this seafoam piece is bent 90 degrees compared to this darker teal strut, and that'll give you the exact angle you need for this. Oh, his foot is taking the focus. This slot, go over that peg. Then you can rotate the arm into place and it'll clip in. I keep losing focus here. So there's his arm in place, and we'll rotate it forward Okay, now I'm not sure which way his arms are going, so we're gonna go ahead and do this one real quick. Okay, so that they do angle like that. Okay, I have it right. We've got that angled, we've got that plugged in, and there you have Cup fully transformed into his robot mode. We'll take a look at his details. There you have his face sculpt, and he looks like he could use some more Energon treats. He just looks halfway to skeleton, and I don't really have an affinity with the character from the movies, so I can't really talk about its accuracies or inaccuracies. The only thing I really don't like is his eyes. I don't know, they make with the flat kind of near frown, he kind of looks suspicious, or he thinks I'm suspicious, and I don't like it. Either way, you've got that teal or that seafoam paint on there, and the face is kind of an off-white, and if you look here in the middle, if I can get it to zoom, there's a little bit of that off-white in the middle of this teal. Got some scraping off. I've had it for a while, so it's going to be a little scraped. You've got light piping in the back there. That strip doesn't really do much. His eyes look pretty dead. Coming down the chest, at the hood of the car is the chest, so you got all the same details there. On the shoulders, you've got some paint to kind of match it up with, you know, the lighter teal we've got going on, and actually looks pretty good. It's definitely a different color. I can definitely tell, but it doesn't look bad. It looks like it belongs. And then especially because the lower arm has dark with dark, and it kind of makes this plastic look lighter in comparison, even though I think they're both the lighter plastic compared to this darker one. Well, no, this looks like it could be this. And so, yeah, I don't know. It all looks good to me anyway. The hands are painted the same color as the face, and then you've got some orange here on his wrist area that goes around until it hits the hollow space in the back. You've got the same orange here at the waist and some gray, dark gray, almost gunmetal looking, going there on the waist. The knees have a bit of that seafoam paint in them. You've got the same paint app that was on the side of the car there. Other than that, it's just molded detail with the vehicle mode wheels and such. Coming up the back, you've got the underside of the bedding of the truck, revealing some nice details there. You've got the pegs from the hands, but they don't really look too out of place. You've got these panels bashed on, and they even don't look too bad. His calves are kind of huge, yeah, but Unique Toys Challenger did the same thing, and he's pretty great, so I'm not going to knock this guy for that. At the budget he's at, just plain plastic going up the legs. I don't think it's painted on this one. I think it's just the seafoamy plastic. Then for the backpack, it's actually pretty well condensed in my opinion. The third-party Masterpiece ones, one of them looks actually kind of similarly a mess to this one. The other one is a similar shape, but it's smoother. So on the budget this thing's got, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm okay with this backpack 100%. There's nothing here that bothers me. Here you've got a shot of him from the side view, and just another shot going from his feet up to his head. We'll go ahead and do posability. The head is on a ball joint, so you get your tips a little bit back, not a lot though, and he can look down pretty good. You can rotate full 360, of course. His arms, if you wanted to, you could unplug this and use it as a joint, but it wouldn't look good, and I'm not going to bother. But other than that, you've got the 360 for the universal. He can go all the way up for that bend. He's got the full 360 at the bicep, and his arms will detach there, so be careful swiveling, but that's for something later. You've got over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, and the wrist unfortunately has nothing, but it's deluxe, so I'm not going to be mad. You've got full waist rotation on the mushroom peg. It kind of defaults to the middle. It will kind of swoop into place, but it's not going to stop you from posing it really. Universal hips, full out, full 90 degrees back, and about 90 degrees forward, a little over, nothing to write home about. You've got the thigh swivel, same thing as the arms, it will detach, so just be careful when you're rotating it. 90 degree knee bend pretty much, and then you can move the toe down because of transformation, and you do get ankle pivot that goes pretty much as far as you're really going to need it to. 45 degrees is about as much as I would want, unless you were going to do a complete split stance, which to me doesn't look natural and it looks weird anyway. So there you've got his posability. For his weapons, he can hold either of them in his hand. It's just ports and posts. And then for storage, I don't really remember if he's got weapon storage for his stuff. I don't think you can plug them into those. There's just not enough space. And the leg holes are now being covered, so you can't really put them back into those. So yeah, I'm not sure that he has any weapon storage on him. It's been so long since I first got him that I don't remember if I ever bothered to find any. Oh, he's got a flight stand. I should probably mention that, I guess. So he can just hold his stuff, and we'll have him hold his Energon goodies in this hand, and we'll go ahead and snap his gun in this hand real quick before we get to size comparisons. In the film, he gets ripped apart. I believe, I can't remember which arm and which leg, but they're adjacent. They're not directly on the same side. It's this arm and this leg, or this leg and this arm, but all 4 limbs can be ripped off. And you can swap them even, because they're just, you know, the 5mm pegs. And so if you've got the Studio Series Hot Rod, he can have that scene where he fixes them up, and we'll probably show that off when we get to Studio Series Hot Rod. I'm not sure if I'm going to review him as a Voyager or as a Deluxe. We'll go ahead and zoom out here. There he is. Kind of just get him in a pose. Doesn't make him look like he's just standing straight up. Maybe we'll have him offering out a goodie. Just kind of have his gun tucked down here, like he's trying to show that he's not intending to fire, and he's trying to make a peace offering. And we'll go ahead and get him ready for size comparisons. My button stopped working, so we'll have to use the screen. Starting off with the Rubik's Cube, as always. Dora Magala statue, Volkswagen Bumblebee, Quake, Video Series Blur. He is with MP44. And last but not least, there he is with Prime Jr. And that about does it for Cup. The face doesn't bother me that much for the same reasons that it bothers other people. It just bothers me because I find it disturbing. Other than that, this is a really good figure for the Deluxe class size. I think all the colors work really well together. He's got the split apart explodey limb gimmick, and that's all very cool for him to have. You can use the little welding torch on Hot Rod, and Blur also came with one. It wasn't in his hand for reasons I'll disclose in his review. But yeah, Cup is pretty good, and I actually like him a lot. And that's pretty much I gotta say about this figure. Go ahead and comment below what your favorite part of the figure is. Do you like that he explodes? Do you like that he has snacks? Do you like that his face will haunt your nightmares? Go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Go ahead and give the video a like if you liked it as much as I like Cup. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and check out my playlist in the description. If you want to see more videos from me, ring the bell if you want to know when they're coming out, and check out my social media links, because I try and throw up a notification on those the day before, so you have even more warning. And with that, it's pretty much it for Cup, and we'll see you in the next review of Springer.